Is there any tech company experimenting more than ASUS? I've been a fan of their gaming phones and Zen phones for quite some time now, and mainly because they don't hold back on the design while making sure that the specs are practically high. But now we have a special edition of one such gaming laptop from ASUS because they've teamed up with a premium clothing brand called Acronym to make literally one of the coolest laptops that I have ever used. Hey, it's Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? This crazy looking laptop tablet convertible is the ASUS ROG Flow Z13 Acronym. Now, I'll admit I'm not very familiar with Acronym the brand, but this Flow Z13 carries many of their flourishes that I'm kind of getting the gist of what they're all about. What we have all around here is pure aluminum alloy, and it's made in such a way that not only allows for the design to really shine through, but also to give it quite a bit of grip with all of these rubber pieces that are on the bottom here and also in the corners. And yes, the backing seems all over the place, but I think that is in a good way. It's mostly symmetrical, although you may not really think it is at first glance. The kickstand, aside from its practical utility, bears the markings of both companies involved in bringing this whole thing together, but it also reveals further branding alongside a couple of expansions that are easily accessible. The SSD, which is right over here, and then the ability to add in a micro SD card. And then aside from the rubberized bits in the corners here that might help in case maybe you actually drop or bump into this thing, you'll also see these little notches over here that are also available on the other side, which I'll get to a little bit later because they do serve a special purpose. Now, just like the original Flow Z13, the tablet form factor does mean that the port selection is a little bit scarce. What we have over here are the headphone jack, a USB-A port, and then the power button and the volume rockers, because that's where they would typically be when it comes to a tablet. And then over on the other side is a USB-C port, and that's about it. No HDMI port, even though I did kind of want to use one of those not too long ago, and then certainly no SD card slot. And then this beefy tablet also sports cameras on both sides, obviously one above the screen for like video calls and whatnot, and a camera right over here in case you actually do want to take some pictures using this tablet. But also, like the other Flow laptops, there's also this port down here on the bottom that is behind this rubber, and it allows usage of the XG Mobile. That's ASUS's own external GPU. I don't have one on me right now, but if I were to connect it to this XG Mobile port, I'd probably have the XG Mobile just sitting over there on my editing bay or just at home at my home computer, and then once I connect it to this, it gives me access to all the ports that I'm missing, HDMI connectivity, and inside of it is even higher powered graphics to really make this a proper, like I said, desktop replacement. But one thing to note is that the XG Mobile port also has a USB-C connector there, so you don't have to be locked out of using any of your peripherals if you are charging using the main USB-C port. The keyboard is magnetically attached, giving this laptop some of those Surface Pro vibes, and the keyboard itself is, well, it's fine. It's a decent enough typing experience, but this might be the only place where the acronym flourishes are just a little bit too much for me. As a typist, I know where everything is inherently, but there are the few times that I've had to look down, and even I have trouble deciphering what exactly is going on here. And as you can see here, the trackpad is quite small. That's just the nature of tablets like this with detachable keyboards. You don't get a whole lot of real estate for actually navigating around using the touchpad. The collaboration continues on the software level, as is evident when powering the tablet on. Now, I'm not really one for benchmarking, but you can expect really good power due to the spec list on the Flow Z13 Acronym. What you get in here is an Intel 13th Gen i9 processor. I have 32 gigabytes in my model with 1 terabyte of SSD storage. But ASUS and Acronym did not spare the power when it came to this version of the Flow Z13 because it comes with an RTX 4070. Yes, you heard that right, a 4070, which effectively makes this version of the Flow Z13 the most powerful one in the lineup. Pretty much any game that I've thrown at this thing has run smoothly at medium-high settings, since max or ultra settings do typically push any gaming laptop to their limits anyway. And all coming through the ROG Nebula display. This is a 16:10 aspect ratio Quad HD Plus resolution display that also pumps out 165Hz refresh rate. Now, the display could use a little bit of a brightness boost, but overall it's been a very enjoyable experience for both work and play. And again, all of the games I'm playing currently have been performing totally fine, from Cyberpunk to Yakuza Like a Dragon to WWE 2K23. Even though using a tablet convertible like this may not be as comfortable as a traditional laptop because of the kickstand and the form factor obviously, I never perceived that the tablet was getting too hot, and that would be due to vapor chamber cooling as well as those fans and liquid metal cooling inside. But speaking of power, you get the most out of the Flow Z13 Acronym, obviously by plugging the thing in. The included charging brick pumps out 130 watts to ensure that the RTX 4070 runs at full capacity. And speaking of the charging brick, it is fairly minimal, making it about as portable as the laptop itself. I did not track battery life too closely on here, but it is basically where I would have expected. Obviously, you're going to get a bit more longevity out of this thing by not doing those super intensive tasks, like playing maybe less intensive games like Marvel Snap. To get the most out of the battery life, obviously you're going to be spending a lot of time in Armory Crate. This is where you have all of the different settings, and you can actually change up the GPU modes so that you can use a mixture of the integrated and discrete graphics, or go to the extremes of either one. You can actually turn off either one completely and just use this completely with either the integrated graphics or completely with the RTX 4070. So clearly this Flow Z13 acronym fulfills a lot of different scenarios for both work and play, but it's also very practically designed, even if eclectically stylish, and that is where these particular areas come into play. See, not only did ASUS and Acronym want to make a statement with the design, but they also wanted the actual laptop to be a statement in and of itself. And that's basically by asking the question, why would you want to cover up a great looking laptop like this by putting it in a bag when you can just carry the laptop and show it off by itself? Yup, the Flow Z13 acronym can actually be its own sling. You can literally wear the laptop like this and walk around with it prominently showing, and everyone's gonna wonder, what the heck is that on your shoulder? You might wonder why you might want to do something like this. Well, let's say this. Sometimes you don't need your other stuff. You need only the laptop itself. And honestly, being able to do that with this laptop is just damn cool. You can also carry around the laptop in suitcase mode for quick and comfortable movements given the handle that is connected to the top. And there is a final form that hangs the laptop down your torso from your neck so that you can do on-the-go work or even on-the-go play. And with the touchscreen, it does give you control over a lot of the applications in case you need to be able to do that while standing or whatever. Honestly, I love this. It's one of the most unique features I've ever seen on a laptop, much less a gaming laptop. And aside from rainy days for obvious reasons, I've actually been using it like this quite a lot, carrying this thing around and just having it outside of even a bag, because sometimes I just want to leave the backpack behind and just get to work or get to playing when it comes to this particular laptop. And if you are afraid of leaving the charger behind, there is a carrying pouch also included that you can also wear alongside the laptop. The ASUS ROG Flow lineup has been around for a little while now, but in general, convertible tablet laptops like this are, for the most part, familiar. So to me, injecting a real boost of style is a significant upgrade. Given the powerful specs inside of this particular model, I've actually come around to the form factor as an option because of the versatility. Use it like a laptop? Check. Portable gaming rig? Check. Plug in, fire up a game, put the keyboard aside, and then grab a controller to game on comfortably. Doubling up on productivity? Check and check. I have used the Flow Z13 acronym as a side screen connected to a USB-C dock that charges, adds the ports that I need, and creates a dual screen desktop setup for video editing. And clearly, because of the i9 processor and because of the RTX 4070, this is actually a really great editing rig. I edited 2 whole videos with this thing with render times that were really quick. And ultimately, with some good stylish additions, the collaboration with Acronym helps ASUS elevate the experience of the Flow Z13 via more than just a custom case or a custom look. But of course, there is one thing to consider when you start slapping all of these logos and brands onto a device like this. The price. Price considerations when it comes to a Flow tablet laptop convertible is really not a surprise, because we know that the XG Mobile is already carrying its own hefty price point, further adding on top what you would pay for any of the Flow laptops. But actually, with the high specs in this laptop, you may not necessarily need the XG Mobile, so you can actually use this as a standalone laptop and then just convert it over to whatever you need via USB-C ports and expansion docks. The thing is, Acronym bring not only their style to the Flow Z13, but they also match this laptop with their premium clothing catalog, with a premium price on the ASUS collaboration. At $3,000, you are definitely paying a lot for one of the most uniquely designed laptops or tablet convertibles out there, but you are also paying for one of the most unique experiences in gaming computing, or computing in general. One that exudes the virtues and perspectives of style and flow. And so there you have it, a look at the ASUS ROG Flow Z13 acronym. Like I said before, I already love what ASUS has been doing with their various devices and their designs, but they really doubled down here by teaming up with the clothing brand Acronym to create this crazy looking laptop that is also incredibly useful and fun to use. Let me know your thoughts on the Flow Z13-ACRNM in the comment sections down below, and let me know if you are thinking of picking up this unique laptop and using it, especially in that sling or briefcase mode given the included straps. But with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one. Thank you so much for watching this video and for kicking it with me today. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and enjoy your tea, everybody. Oh, I forgot to do a tea break in this video. It's okay, we'll have some tea together in the next one.